Good evening, everyone. Today, we're graced by the presence of Mr. Vimal Narayanan, who is the founder and CEO of Medtrix Healthcare. Welcome, sir. Thank you so much for taking time out of your hectic schedule to be here. I'm Sakshi Tumminakatti, and I'm a second-year student at Christ Deemed to be University. I'm accompanied by my classmates Sarvesh and Rushil today. So, Medtrix Healthcare is a leading navigator of the paradigm shifts occurring in the pharmaceutical industry. Sir, could you give us an insight about what Medtrix is and what it is that you do?
Yeah, so Medtrix is a preferred partner to several of the leading pharmaceutical companies across the world. So we create marketing and medical content for them. So in a layman's parlance, we are like an advertisement company, but we work specifically with the pharmaceutical industry. So we have offices in Bangalore, we have offices in the US, as well as in the Middle East, and then we have presence across the globe. We do a lot of work in Europe and also in Asia and China and Japan as well. So we have some new projects running there. So we have our development and everything happening in Bangalore in India. And we have folks in different parts of the world who helps us in business development and client servicing. We've been in the business from 2012. We've done close to about 1,000 projects. We are, like as I said, several of the top 20 pharmaceutical companies are partners to us in digital, and yeah, we're happy to be here.
Okay, sir. Why did you choose the pharmaceutical sector? Was there any particular reason, or was there a passion behind it that made you do so?
Sure. Yes. I'm a pharmacist by qualification, and then I've been in the pharmaceutical industry all through my life, either on this side of the table or the other side of the table. That means within a pharmaceutical company or supporting a pharma company. So the passion for health comes naturally to me because I've been learning about science in pharma. So I've been fortunate to be associated with companies like Novartis and Sanofi in the past, and also companies who are large and supporting pharma industry. So throughout my career, which is spanning about 22 years, let's say 23 years, I've been all through in the pharma space. And that's where the experience and know-how of this industry came. And yeah.
All right, so that was amazing to hear. So how does being an entrepreneur has changed your perspective towards your life, or how has being an entrepreneur impacted your daily life?
So being an entrepreneur, I think provides you with a unique opportunity of being able to support somebody's life, in the sense like you can see yourself personally, a lot of people working for your company or people working alongside, seeing growing from point A to point B, or on a scale of, let's say, 1 to 10, from 3 to, let's say, 7 or 8, because this is something that you will be able to build. You will be able to build ecosystems which you thought was not existent. You will be able to create economies. So in fact, entrepreneurship is one of the ways of improving a country's economy. So we create wealth, we create opportunities. More than anything else, it's the sheer joy of seeing somebody grow is what makes the life of an entrepreneur very special. And this is what makes you, wake up every day with a smile and close your eyes on the evening, on the night, with the sort of excitement, let's say.
So being an entrepreneur is it requires a bold decision to be made. So it's generally a question about choosing, your job security or the stable payment over taking a risk and providing livelihood to a lot more people, thereby creating wealth, thereby creating, a lot more than you can. So what was that one? Was it like a eureka moment that you chose to be an entrepreneur, or what was that step that you took towards being an entrepreneur? How was that process?
So yes, I think it does involve a certain amount of sacrifice. Let's say if you're in a well-paying job, or if you're in a situation where you have a family to support, I think it is sort of a difficult question. Or if you're a student, let's say, again, who's a fresher or who's a youngster, like who's 24, 25, for example, it's a journey that leads to failure a lot of times. Now, if you look at my life, I became an entrepreneur at around 35, by which time I was already experienced and had about, I don't know, 10, 13 years of experience, I guess. And I was actually on an assignment overseas to set up a large agency similar to us. In fact, it was the largest healthcare agency in the world. It's called McCann Health. So I was setting up McCann Health in the Middle East, based in Dubai. So that's when the idea of setting up came, because all through my life I've been in sales. I've been one of the strengths that I have is to build businesses for companies. So where there was no avenues or there was no road, my job is to basically go and hunt and pave a path and let's say in a sense of example, create a township there. So that's my job. So my job is to go and create a civilization where there is none. So since I've been doing this for a long time, this aspect of setting up my own shop was not so difficult to decide. My theory was, if I fail, I'll go back to work. So that was my theory. So I was willing to take that risk. As I said, it was a well-paid job. It was overseas, but thankfully it paid. And I think anybody who has that urge should heed to that call than ignore it, I would think.
So talking about the pharma industry with relation to marketing and sales, the three of us, we are very passionate when it comes to marketing. We really like that subject. We really like dealing with marketing. So how different is it for the pharma industry or the pharma sector when compared to something else that maybe something like that can be advertised very publicly on the internet or something like that? Pharmaceutical hasn't been known to be something like that. So how different is it working in the pharmaceutical sector, with relation to marketing?
Okay, so pharmaceutical industry is a highly regulated industry, and it's a highly knowledge-driven industry in the sense like this is one of the areas which somebody might feel very difficult to establish if you're an outsider. So you would principally need to have an educational qualification or lots and lots of experience to excel in senior positions. Primarily from the fact that the area is very restricted. There is a very strict medical, legal, and regulatory compliance systems in place. There are very, very restricted amount of claims that any pharma company can make to their customers, or primarily doctors, and also to their patients. So they need to be very, very careful about what they communicate. So for this reason, the industry is highly regulated. So in fact, what they can get, what sort of data they can store, what sort of communications you can provide, all of this is highly, highly regulated. But otherwise, you will see that some of the companies get sued for millions and billions of dollars. So for that reason, it's highly regulated. However, if you look at, let's say, a consumer product, like a company like Unilever, for example, so there they can claim anything in an advertisement. So there the degree of freedom is very high. The chance of creativity is very high. Whereas pharma has a highly restricted environment. Having said that, it actually pays you well once you understand how to play within the realms of possibilities, because you're going to make a difference in somebody's life. It's not like selling a Dove soap or a hand wash or something like that, or a chocolate or something. So you're going to basically help some patient to get an information which is probably going to improve their quality of life, or which is going to help them get some information about how they can manage their disease better, or help them to take their medications more regularly, or let's say have any other health benefit. So from that perspective, I think it's rewarding as well, provided you know how to play within the realms of the possibilities of the industry. So yes, the opportunities are lesser, but then once you're able to establish yourself, the rewards are highly satisfying. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. That was very insightful. As people who have little to no knowledge about the pharma industry. That was quite a lot of information. I wanted to ask about the existing business environment that is there in India. Would you say that it was easy to set up your own business, or were there any hurdles that you faced that you overcame, and how did you do that?
So the industry that we are in is a highly specialized niche industry. So we were fortunate that I had a good network of clients and contacts whom I knew for a long time, who trust their monies on me or my colleagues. We were lucky on that side. But the challenge is to hire talent who are familiar with the kind of work that we have. So we have people on the pharma side. There are a lot of people working in the pharmaceutical industry. And then there are a lot of people who are working in the IT industry or consulting or any of those places. So what was not very common is people who know both of these, because we need people who understands the consulting of the IT side, the services side, plus the knowledge of the industry. So from that perspective, getting talent is one of the most critical issues that we had when we started up. And of course, acquiring clients in global headquarters like US or Europe, and getting the credibility is a long process. Pharma, as I said, is highly regulated, so it takes its own time to establish and get those projects with those large companies. I'm talking about companies with revenues of $40 billion or $50 billion. So it's difficult to get those projects. But then we got it. We still very small, I would think. We're still scratching the surface. We still have a long way to go. The key thing is, as I said, building credibility with your clients, and also to get the right amount of similar to us. So these are the two key challenges. We have built, as I said, done over 1,000 projects. So the credibility is sort of second one is we also system, so which is also helping us to churn out people and train them to do what we have to do.
But you had mentioned that you had actually been equipped with all the skills and had actually gained this knowledge of, let's say, a business over through your career, after which you started your entrepreneurship career. Can you tell us, or can you give us a little bit of advice for, let's say, these college students or budding college students, or people like us, that could really do with some advice for how we could actually, build ourselves as entrepreneurs or get into the business as a field?
So I personally feel that India is in safe hands with the new generation. We have a brilliant crop of youngsters like you who are going to be building this country, and maybe building other countries also if you go out. So so I think we have first and foremost we have a brilliant crop of youngsters who can do a lot of things much better than what our generation is able to achieve. This is what I believe. So so from an entrepreneurship point of view, I think the only thing that you need to be is, I think you need to be fearless. So I'm not afraid of failure. So I'm not even saying risk, but if you're fearless and not afraid of failure, then I think automatically the risk-taking capacity will come. Risk-taking does not mean that you have to take a risk every day or every hour. So you just need to make one major risk and cover that risk with some safe measures. That's how you get success. So it's not like every day you will take a risk. You cannot be an adrenaline junkie or anything. So you need to take risk, but at the same time you need to be able to back up your risk with hard work and preparation and stuff. So I think if you're able to be fearless, and if you're able to be not afraid of failure, I think you can be entrepreneurs. More than that, you also try to be an expert in the area of what you choose to be. In the sense, don't start a restaurant if you're a pharmacist or a doctor. So so that's something that people do, right? One of the reasons why people fail is because they start thinking that they are invincible. They'll get into 5 things, they'll do many things, they get greedy. So it's good to be greedy in business, but also it's good to be knowing what you do. So I would think that perhaps a little bit of knowledge about what you want to do is also critical, apart from being fearless and not afraid of failure.
That was amazing. So with those inspiring words, I think we've come to the end of the time allotted to us. We'd love to obviously ask you more questions, because as whatever you've told us has been extremely useful, especially. And sorry, and thank you so much for taking out so much time to give us such inspiring words. I'd also like to thank our professor, Mr. Rishikesh sir, who gave us this opportunity, especially to learn from such a successful entrepreneur. And obviously, this entire experience would be of great value to us, and especially everyone that you've now helped. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, and good luck with all of your futures. You guys are great. Do well. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.